Hello again. Today I thought I'd do a video on my garden railway. Today I'll hopefully show you what my garden railway looks like, plans for the future, the wagons and coaches I have, and wagons and coaches for the future, and engines I have, and engines for the future. So let's get started. So we'll start over here. This area all along here is going to be the main station. So at the moment we've got a passing loop in with one siding towards the back. This will extend off into another passing loop with a turntable at the end, as you see, and then break off and have a few more sidings and an engine shed towards where this plant pot is here. This then continues along over a bridge, which will hopefully be a pond down the bottom here, to the next station along the line, which at the moment is called Tree Halt. This is because this is a halt station with a small siding for summer only services, or just for general storage, with a picnic area down below. Next we come to the railway crossing and the steep climb all the way up to the tunnel, which I've built. The tunnel is not complete yet because I'd like to build a rockery around it, but this gradient is about a 1 in 18 gradient or something like that. I think it is. I have to double check, but it's a very steep gradient for garden railway trains. But even my steam train does it no problem. So on the other side of the tunnel, you come across to a small little bridge where we will have a small pond at the top, which flows down a waterfall down to the pond where that railway bridge is, I said initially. So it will go all the way down there. Up here at the moment we don't really have anything, it's just a track, but this will, as you see, branch off over here and run all the way back again as a bay station for the time being, with a possible quarry museum along the back here. So all along here we'll hopefully have a quarry museum. Another angle to look at, this is again where the tunnel comes across the little bridge up to the top here and off to the spur just there, which will come back and be a base station here as well, and then hopefully a quarry museum in there somewhere across the back, which would be quite nice. And again that waterfall that comes down here down into the pond area. Now where the spur is, it suddenly starts a steep descent again down across a bridge here, because I'm thinking about having a quarry, abandoned mine or something underneath there, down all the way across down the back and around another curve and back to where we started at the passing loop. So at the moment the line in a circuit is about, I think it's about 30 yards, maybe a bit long, a bit more, and takes about 3 minutes to make a complete circuit of the line. 2 minutes, 3 minutes to make a complete circuit of the line, which is a good running space, good running length I have, and I'm very pleased with it. I'll just give you a quick zoomed out overview of the whole line. Now we have plans for the future. Now the plan is, by the halt here, there'll be a spur off, which will go on down the side of my shed, round the back, and appear this side of the shed. And then, once this hut is out the way, go up the hill beside it, and join to where I said that base station will be up there. And then that will be another big loop, and that way it adds an extra probably 20 yards or so onto the circuit, which would be great. As you can see, this is what the main station will eventually look like, with a passing loop that is already in there, which is already there, and then you see another run round loop with a turntable at the end, a few spurs off, and then an engine shed to the right, and then a final spur to the right as well. This is what it should look like at the end of it, and then hopefully a town scene at the back, which I haven't decided on what it will look like yet, but I'm sure that will come in time. We'll start off with wagons. So here's one of my first wagons. It's a 5-plank Bogie open wagon from Bright, which no longer sell these, but these are awesome. I can't fault them in any way. This is a lovely thing. At the moment I've just got a few bits and bobs in it, but I've painted this grey in the kind of a Linton and Barnstable grey. Hopefully I'll get some Southern Railway transfers for it as well, or something like that, or L&B transfers. Next we're on to another Bright coach, or wagon, sorry. This is a 3-plank with removable sides. The sides pop out, as you can see, and they slot back in. And finally another Bright wagon. This is a 4-plank with sides that drop down. All these so far I've fitted with chopper couplings, try and represent the Linton and Barnstable. So, and they work very well. They're much better than normal buffers, because going up hills you don't want it to expand and contract between them, because then it keeps bumping and can derail. If they're always locked close to each other, you never have any of that problem. So I do recommend chopper couplings if you're using steep gradients or hills. Next lot of wagons are made by a company called Binny Engineering. They're very cheap, very easy to make, only come in a few little bits, little plastic parts, and they fit together and they look lovely as well. So first we got some slaked wagons with sides, and I filled them just with little bits of slate just to weigh them down because they're quite light, and one without a top, which is like a flatbed wagon. They're very, very good. Next we have some tipper wagons, again made by Binny, and again they're very, very good. But if you're using a coupler which is higher than the standard height, as you can see here, these those couplers where it's coupled together, they sometimes pop off. So I've put a little bit of copper wire in and sealed that in to get it to so it won't pop out when it's running. Next we have another wagon. This is a scratch built wagon by myself, except the chassis, which is a Binny flatbed chassis. Apart from that, I've built everything else, as you can see, and I've fitted it with a working tail lamp as well, which is great when you're running at night. And this is a completely scratch built chassis, apart from the axle boxes, and this is just a small little flatbed wagon. Nothing too special, but I just had a few bits left over and I built that, so I'm quite pleased with that as well. So that's all the wagons, so we'll move on to coaches. Well, the only coach I have is that I've built at the moment. I've got 2 more kits waiting to be built, but it's the Bright Director's Saloon coach, and I picked this up for, I think it was as a kit for £80 or something. No, £70, sorry, tell a lie. And it comes as little bits of wood, and you paint them, glue them, fix them together. Well, once it's done, you can't even imagine it was bits of wood, really. It's got so much detail on it, it's incredible. You've got the little door handles you see there, and the windows. When you build it, you can choose if you want them open and closed, so you see there's one here closed, that one's open there. And if we lift the roof off, you'll see inside. So we've got 2 chairs, you see here, bench and table, a little galley here with a sink, cooker, shelves, and in here we have a little toilet. So this took me about 2 weeks to build, I think, and paint. It's still not complete, as you see. That one's not painted, the roof still needs painting, and I haven't added the detail on the other side of the coach. But I'm very, very pleased with it. And the flooring, I just got had some kind of printed paper. This worked lovely because, as you see, it's a lovely wood, nice checkered floor for the galley, and then nice paper for the toilet. So if you can get your hands on one of these, I highly recommend Brown Bright coaches. They're just, if you want like a perfect coach, these are the types of coaches to get, because they're all like this. You can't get a bad coach with Brown Bright, really. So again, I fitted chopper couplings to these because, again, they you don't get any of that bumping up and down. And I've also fitted Brown Bright's working, well, they don't work, but they're flexible hoses, which again with chopper couplings means they don't bounce around. If you interconnect them with a loco or another coach, they stay connected, which is great. So got a few other detaily bits to put on. I've got handrails for the steps at the back, and I've got a vacuum hose to put on the front of the coach as well.
The first locomotive is Eddie, a battery powered loco which I bought in 2008 and has been the main engine on the railway since. The locomotive is operated by a switch on the buffer beam, as you see here, which controls forward, off and reverse of the loco. I do intend to retrofit the engine with radio control in the future. It has recently been through an overhaul where I have cleaned all the gearing inside and cleaned all the coupling rods from any oil, grease and dirt. This also threw up a few issues with the coupling rods, and a few components have been changed due to wear. I still need nameplates and a driver inside to complete Eddie off. The second loco I own is a model of the Linton and Barnstable number 188 Loo. The engine is a live steam locomotive manufactured by Aircraft and uses butane gas to fire the boiler. The engine has been fitted with my own radio control and is a superb runner. My future plans are for a steam whistle and a driver to finish off the model.